Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in with us today. My name is Hannah, and I'm a global ambassador from the United States here at Youth for Nature. Today, I'm going to be interviewing Esmeralda Wirtz, and I'm really excited to be able to introduce her story for our campaign of Your Story, Our Future. Esmeralda is one of our storytellers from the 2019 and 2020 storytelling campaign, and we are just a few days away from launching our next storytelling campaign. So we thought this would be a great chance to be able to highlight some of our favorite stories from this past year. We also wanted to check in with Esmeralda to see what she's been up to and if there are any updates on her story. So let's go ahead and jump in. Thank you so much for joining us, Esmeralda. So can you go into a little bit more about yourself, like just in like the length of a tweet?
Okay, well, I'm Esmeralda. I'm 27 years old. I'm Belgian and I'm still based in Belgium. I work for a nature park here. But besides my work, I'm also like a climate and biodiversity activist. I'm trying to work together with young people from all around the world to make a change like globally, but also sometimes at the local scale, like the story I shared last year.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks so much for your work. And again, thank you for joining us. We're going to jump right in to your story that we're referencing. Can you tell us a little bit about it? What climate or nature problem is it addressing and how so?
Yeah, so basically, I think it was in 2017. I moved out from my parents' place, and what happened is that I had absolutely no possibility to sort my organic waste from the rest. And it felt like complete nonsense for me to put it in the residual trash, since at my parents' place we had the compost. And I was like, since I now live in a flat without a garden, what options do I have to still make this small environmental thing, which is sorting organic waste? And I was living like right in front of the square, and we had like nice trees and grass, but no one was using it. And I was like, we could just all compost together right there in front of my house. And yeah, then I just started thinking, and I realized that a lot of like people around me had the same issue, like with like my neighbors and so forth. And just a month later, after moving out, I participated in a like youth initiative thing organized by my municipality, and they were like supporting youth projects. Unfortunately, my project like of compost didn't get selected that time, but a few weeks later, they called me back and they said that they were really interested in the project and wanted to support it. So we started building something together with the municipality, like me as like the first person who asked for it, and then a local association that was based like very close to where I lived. So together we started gathering citizens like from my neighborhood, and indeed like quite a lot of people were experiencing the same issue and really wanted to like do something for the environment, but also like some people were there just because they wanted to meet people from the neighborhood, because like in our cities and towns we don't really know each other anymore. So yeah, and like step by step we started building the project like really together as a community, like deciding who would be able to compost with us, where we would put it exactly, when we would start it, and so forth. And that was just a small bunch of people, like 6 or 7 people together. And yeah, like after quite a lot of meetings, we finally had the opening day of the compost, and it was just crazy because it was raining awfully, like in rainy Belgium, and there were like over 100 people who showed up for the opening of the compost, which was just so unexpected and huge. Yeah, so people signed up, and after 1 week, we had reached the capacity of the compost in terms of people that could sign up. So it just went crazy. I think last year when I shared my story, like we hadn't had that opening day yet, but yeah, that's what's happened. And then that was in April 2019, I think, so a year and a half ago. Yeah, that we launched the compost. And then personally, like I moved out of my neighborhood in July.
Okay.
And that was also one of the objectives of the project, like that it wouldn't be too linked to me, so that it would go on once I moved out, because I was just renting, and I knew that I wasn't going to stay there forever. So yeah, and since July it's been going on quite well because of that, the fact that we built this project as a community and not just like me as a person who built something.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the story.
That's absolutely amazing. Wow. The first thing that sticks out to me is 100 people pre-COVID, obviously, but I just like can't even wrap my head around being around that many people during this time, because you know, like my brain is so like we have to distance. But pre-COVID, we're just gonna throw that out there. And another thing that sticks out to me is like where I'm from in the United States, like food waste is such a huge issue that's prevalent around different franchises and also like among different households. So to hear that that's something that you initiated within your community, like you were talking about, it wasn't just something that left and stayed with you, is just super amazing. Food waste is prevalent like around the world, obviously, but as an American, I definitely want to point out that that's something that we really do struggle with. So this is a huge example. Yeah. Well, that's amazing. What was that the issue that you honed in on the most was food waste, or was it something else that stuck out to you? Maybe was it connecting with nature or so, or?
I think it was quite a lot of things. Like when I moved in, I realized that the only people that were actually like going for a walk outside were people having a dog. And besides that, there was no one outside. And I didn't really have the chance to get to know the people that lived in my neighborhood. So this project was also an opportunity to like get to know more people and do things together. And yeah, this project was mainly because like if we didn't have the compost there, we'd just bring the waste to a, I don't know, place where they would burn it, which felt so stupid when you can actually use like nature and biodiversity like to do something out of it, because once their compost is ready, like citizens could take it to the gardens and use it for their vegetable garden or for their plants. So yeah, this project was about like circular economy sort of, and also doing something really together in the urban setting. So yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, so that's something else I want to point out. It was an urban setting. It wasn't like you were somewhere off in the country where there's tons of garden space. You were in just, you know, a European urban setting. That's amazing. Do you find that it was a bit harder to create such a project in an urban setting, or?
I think a urban setting is really the right place for a composting project, because people don't want to walk, I don't know, 1 kilometer to bring their trash somewhere. And like in a urban setting, people are really close to each other, and like the capacity of the compost could be reached like with only people from the neighborhood who would just walk with their things to the compost. So I think it was much easier for that project because like people are really close to the place, and it's just like as if they were going to their backyard to bring the compost. So yeah.
Can you talk about during like that time of 2017 to 2019 when you first thought of the idea and when you like began to initiate it? Like, were you stocking up on like information, or was that just like a lot of like gridlock of like trying to get people to like jump into this idea?
Well, the first thing I did was trying to gather information about community composting in other cities. Because yeah, like for example in Brussels, which is the capital city of Belgium, they had a lot of composts like everywhere, and in my town there was absolutely nothing. And yeah, so I first gathered information about how they had done it, what were the challenges that they had faced, and so forth. And then yeah, I partnered up with the municipality and with the other organization in my neighborhood. So yeah, that was the second step. And then we had some meetings with the citizens. And yeah, we also had to, I would say, stick to nature's calendar, because like launching a compost in winter is not the best option. So
Yeah.
we had also to wait until like spring would come so that it really works.
Yeah, and that's just a testament to like when we're working in sustainability, things can't always work on the time frame that we wanted to, like a work clock. Like we're working on nature's time. Well, that's amazing. Okay, another question I want to jump into. Why is it important for youth in the climate and nature movement to share their story, as you are doing right now?
I think it's really important because like nature is something that everyone can do in their backyard. So it's just super amazing to share the story because it's something that's replicable, that everyone can do like everywhere. So I think that sharing that story can be really inspiring for other people who don't really know where to start, because I think that a lot of you like can relate to or feel connected to environmental issues, but a lot also don't really know where to start or what to do. And there are things that can be done and that can be like more or less easily done. And yeah, sharing story can give ideas, can inspire, and can also maybe help building a community of people who could help each other, like help other people who want to start a project. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, especially that last point of creating a community. That's exactly what you did. You saw that there was a need in your country, that there wasn't a lot of community composting, and you're like, okay, we have to make this happen. Yeah. In your new place, is that something that you're also starting up, that project?
Not really, because I now live in the countryside and like
Okay.
big garden together with my neighbors, and we share compost. So yeah, just with one couple of neighbors. So yeah.
And we switched settings too, so there's that difference of this work, that composting works really well in an urban setting, and it still does in the country. It just looks a bit different.
Yeah, but what's happening right now is that in my former municipality, there are, I think, 3 more projects who are right now, like based on the model that we set up in the first thing. So I'm definitely wanting to support those new projects, and yeah.
Yeah. How do you see yourself supporting those projects?
Well, I participated in some meetings in like before the COVID crisis when they had meetings with the citizens of that neighborhoods. And it was mainly like sharing the experience, because a lot of people are scared that like you can have bad smells with the compost, or that people would not respect the rules. Like a lot of people get scared in the first place. So I attended these meetings to just help sharing experience, like explaining how you could avoid those problems and so forth.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we also created a lot of graphics with the compost project, like what you could throw in, what you could not throw in. So yeah, we're also sharing all of that with the new projects.
That's amazing. Doing what you're doing now, right? Storytelling, talking about the challenges and wins of that. That's amazing. So our last question for this section, where can people learn more about your project or follow your work?
We have a Facebook page with the name. It's called Terreau Urbain. It's in French.
Okay.
There you can see like everything that we've been doing. And yeah, people can just like the page and have a look.
We'll go ahead and post that in the caption of this video, so we'll get it up there. Great. Well, thanks so much for that session and all of those wonderful answers and taking us along that story of yours. Amazing work, Esmeralda. Now we're just going to jump into the short answer section. It'll be rapid fire. So first thing that comes to your head, just put it out there.
Okay.
All right. So what is your favorite place in the world?
My garden.
What is your favorite fruit or vegetable?
Eggplant.
Good choice. What is your favorite meal or food dish from your country or region?
Fries.
Did you say rice?
Fries.
Fries, like French fries?
Yeah, but they're not French, they're Belgian, which is why I mentioned
fries. what was the last book or text that you read and loved?
Probably a post that I saw on Instagram about mental health and like how to
Mhm.
deal with that as an activist.
Yes, yes, so important. And what are you deeply grateful for right now?
The nice weather that we have in November.
Amazing. Well, I love that conversation with you, Esmeralda. Thank you so much for joining me today. And it was just really great to hear from you and learn more from you. We're really excited to highlight you since you've submitted your story in our 2019 and 2020 campaign. For anybody who's watching and or listening, please don't forget to follow along with our new storytelling campaign coming out really soon, Your Story, Our Future. We have many new stories to highlight from all over the world, along with workshops and takeovers to share with you. But for now, we'll just go ahead and say see you later. Or how do you say bye from your Esmeralda?
Au revoir.
All right. Bye, everybody.